What is up, guys? Dashing here for episode 658 of Community Universe Mode and Supremacy episode 18. That is right, Supremacy is back in the Heezy, or as some of you may call it, his house. But we are finally getting the season started for the Superstars of Supremacy after what was, an interesting kickoff to the season, Crossfire earlier this week. But the action, we're going to jump right into it, and if my eyes do not deceive me, that looks to be Max Ryder in the ring taking on, yes, you don't have to clean out your ears, I'm about to say Chris Danger. This was originally scheduled to be George King versus Danger, but, well, in a move that I can't say I'm entirely surprised with, it seems as though King has thrown in one of his knights to sort of test the waters against Danger, instead of he himself being the one to trek that dangerous road, no pun intended, or was there? And yes, Chris Danger is, or was for a moment, in a CMV ring as Max Ryder knocks him down to the outside. Some of you, probably a good number of you, know who Chris Danger is and what he brings to the table, finally arriving in CMV, the end-all, be-all for wrestling, and Danger taking a second. It doesn't seem like he minds too much who he's in the ring with, although I would assume he's been preparing for George King, who's running over here. Looked like he was about to try something, but changed his mind, maybe not wanting to risk the disqualification. However, we may get a count out already at the count of 7, have until 20 to get back into the ring, and Max Ryder is just all over Danger, indeed like peanut butter on jelly. And while there is a considerable size difference, I'd say that Danger and King was a more even matchup. Max Ryder is enjoying himself right now at the count of 10.
11.
Start of this season has been fortuitous for George King and the Kingdom. King defeating Borton at Winterfest, and then the Kingdom as a whole picking up a 6-man tag team victory over the Carter clan at Shake Up. We know what King wants. That's the World Championship. I can't say that it isn't entirely a smart move, what he's done here, because Chris Danger is one of the most widely recognized competitors in the world today. Really brings some meaning to that last name of his, Danger. And George King's not a stupid man. Getting a front row seat, seeing what Danger is truly all about as Max Ryder tearing into this man. Then you got to deal with the threat of King and Joe Dirt at ringside. Max Ryder watching as Danger pulls himself up on the ropes. Gets a big old crack to the jaw. George King play. Whoa! Danger with a springboard European uppercut. Yes, please. Danger now going to topple the Giant with a jawbreaker, man. So much to look forward to here tonight on Supremacy. 2 first-round matches in the European Championship Tournament, not to mention a hell of a main event as the undisputed World Heavyweight Champion Chris Broadfoot will go one-on-one with the future man, Quantum, and much, much more. Max Ryder, we've seen that time and time before, and again here as he takes down Danger with that spear modification. Now going after the arm. Danger kind of looking like a small child in the arms of Max Ryder, who is just gargantuan. The former unmatched tag team champion. Once more, Danger takes a fall off the shoulders of Ryder with that torture rack bomb, and Ryder is feeling himself right now. You know he wants to impress George King with a victory over Danger here. Easier said than done, though. Springboard power bomb. And what? Danger front flipping to his feet. Walks right into a snapmare, man. George King at ringside looking like, oh man, maybe I made a smart move Forearm smash. And again, Max Rider finds himself trapped in the corner. Danger. Like a house of fire right now. Out of the corner, running Bulldog. And what's he doing now? Tuning up the band? Hang on a minute. Chris Danger with some sweet chin music. Into the pin. 1, 2. But will not be enough to keep the big man grounded. Danger knows what will, though. Max Rider may be about to enter the danger zone, baby. Right to the back of the head. Uno, dos, tres. Chris Danger victorious over Max Rider. George King tried to pull the rug out from under him, the old switcheroo. But Danger adapted and overcame quite a beating at the hands of Ryder. Sweet chin music followed up by that knee to the back of the head, and that would be all she wrote for Max Rider. This right here. Bam! And George King watching on with a scowl on his face. Maybe the outcome would have been different if it was he who got into that ring. Or maybe it would have been much of the same. Either way, Chris Danger not backing down from the fight. A successful CMV debut here. George King and Joe Dirt not even going over to check on Max Rider. They're in such a foul mood after that outcome. Well, guys, before we kick off the European Championship Tournament with Gary Reed going one-on-one with Ashley Amell, later on tonight, Kevin Lee takes on Bloody Justice. A bit of a showcase of some new talent here on Supremacy. Maddox going to go one-on-one with Jason Parker. As we saw earlier this week on the first episode of Crossfire, Ken Donahue kind of did the same thing with Jarek Lawson and Travis Baker. Got to see what Lawson brought to the table. Now, who between Maddox and Parker will send a message to not only the CM Universe, but everyone in the back that they are a force to be reckoned with going forward into this season. Indeed, been a rocky start, as we all know, to the beginning of this season. But now, hopefully, we look into brighter horizons. And could it be one of these two men that etches their name into the annals of CMV history as a part of the Supremacy roster? So Maddox and Jason Parker. Don't know much about either one of these young men, but do know that Maddox able to overpower Parker. That collar and elbow tie-up. And it's going to be Parker taking a cheap shot. And then a missed kick back to the collar and elbow. Parker is the one to have his strength overcome. Referee trying to get between these two. A cheap shot by Maddox. Hey, man. Can't really blame him. If Jason Parker doesn't want to play fair, then Maddox ain't going to either. Ricocheting out of the corner. Ooh! I don't even know what the hell that was, but I know for sure that it did not feel good for Jason Parker to do it again. Worked so well the first time. Hey, don't knock it. Maddox now, massive boot right to the sternum of Parker. As Maddox continues to, oh man, DDT pick apart Jason Parker, guys. Also tonight, made official by General Manager Mr. Slade, a third. What is that, like a fireman's carry turned into an air raid siren? I guess just an air raid siren modification, but, well, only a minute or so into this match, we already can tell that it's Maddox's favorite maneuver. Hopefully Jason Parker cannot stop him from hitting it anymore as he gets that single leg or single armed, I should say, clothesline. Reeling him in, and Maddox going to pick himself up against the ropes. As I was saying, though, Mr. Slate luring Bob Luger into a trap earlier tonight, beaten down viciously by the arsenal of Tailcoat Val. Look at that massive suicide dive, a bit of a plancha, completely covering Maddox on the outside. Able to recuperate quickly, trying to fight back. Mr. Slate has told me, though, even after what the Arsenal Tailcoat Val did to Bob Luger, the match is still on for tonight, guys. It will be Bram Miller, that mystery man that attempted to attack Luger and cost him the match against Chris Proudfoot back at Shake Up. One-on-one with the work ethic titan himself. Bob Luger in the back, currently being checked on by the medical crew. Not going to have long before he has to make his way out here, but we all know Bob Luger never won to give up a fight. He will be out here later on tonight. The question is, will he be well enough to take on a completely fresh Bram Miller, the right-hand man of the right-hand man? It's becoming obvious that Xander Slate signed to Bob Luger to Supremacy for one reason and one reason only. Will Luger be able to overcome, though, just as Jason Parker attempts to overcome Maddox here? Count of 8. Remember, they have until 20, but Parker wants to break the count right now. Maybe he wants to win by count out after Maddox went flying into the corner. Might be a possibility. Forearm smash by Maddox. Goes for a clothesline. Ducks does Parker. Kick to the midsection. And a arm drag that got very deep there. Athleticism on display by Parker as he smashes the elbow off those mats, and we all know what lies beneath, man. Jason Parker, I don't know if I expected this level of aggression from him. He started the match by taking a cheap shot, and now he's just using the environment as if it's a tag team partner, smashing him into the ring apron, the barricades. I mean, Maddox has to think of a way to turn things around and quickly. Otherwise, Parker is going to have this one in the bag. Forearm smash against the ropes. Decapitation. Oh, my God. And those... Hang on just a sec. Dada? Wait a minute. The man-eater, the former CMV Internet Champion. What the hell is Dada doing out here? As Jason Parker makes his way back to a vertical base. Seems as though he's going to attempt to capitalize on this distraction. Maddox. Wait a minute, Maddox, though. He's going after Dara. Hang on, Maddox says you want to try to get involved in my match. Let's do it. And referee has called for the bell. This one is over, guys. Disqualification, Maddox the victor. And who would have expected things to go down like that? Dada coming down to ringside just as it was looking like Maddox might have this match finally won. But Maddox said, hey, you want to get involved, and let's do it. Dada laying her hands on him, and that caused a disqualification. Parker is not happy. Bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Classic dashing, those words always escaping his peanut brain. Bit of a sour outcome because Maddox and Jason Parker were tearing Ish up in that ring. I was looking forward to seeing who was actually going to come out the victor, but Dada, maybe kind of marking her territory, seeing all these new faces in CMV, wants to make sure they know that they ain't just going to come in here and, push her off to the side. She's got aspirations, not going to let all these newbies get in her way, but I think it kind of backfired on her. Maddox victorious via disqualification, but now, guys, we move on to the beginning of the European Championship Tournament. 8 superstars competing over these next few weeks. The finals will take place at Point Break 4 weeks from this Sunday. to crown a brand new European champion. And getting things started, none other than Gary Reed and Ashley Amell. Later on tonight, we'll see Kevin Lee and Bloody Justice in another first-round bout. Some more first-round matches next week. Gary Reed, of course, one half of the Armbar Society, tag team partner of the longest reigning Anarchy champion of all time, along with a plethora of other accolades, holding on to that championship. Walter Belay, who has not been seen since this season started, and there is a lot of talk that he may soon be stripped of that championship. Belay does not show up soon. However, Gary Reed has to focus on himself. Belay is not by his side, and Reed can afford to just sit around, with his thumb in his mouth. So he's taking it upon himself to go for some of his own singles gold. Wants to become European champion, hailing from Scotland. Gary Reed, I'm sure, would love nothing more than to represent his home. Ashley Amell, one half of Thunder from Down Under, much in the same boat of Gary Reed, his tag team partner, Joaquin Phoenix, currently, or Joaquin Hendricks, I should say, not the actor of the Joker. That is not Ashley Amell's tag team partner. That would be pretty cool if it was, though. Just say Joaquin Hendricks, currently MIA, so again, Ashley Amell not wanting to just sit in catering, taking it upon himself to go after that European Championship. Turned around in the corner, Gary Reed. What the hell is he doing here? Targeting that arm, and we know full well why. He could break it right here, right now, but he's got to watch the disqualification. Only has until a count of 5 to let go, and I think that was a 4.9999999. If you ask me, Ashley Amell waiting as Reed gets back into the ring, rolling knee bar, hang on a minute, turns into an Indian Deathlock. And Reed may be the one forced to submit. No, he's able to escape. One thing Ashley Amell wants to watch out for and avoid like the plague is that rolling armbar. Gary Reed has ended careers here in CMV as he continues to soften up that arm. Going after it as if he were a pit bull chasing a big old juicy bone. Gets down behind, reverse DDT. The Aussie grabbing that ponytail. Ashley Amell have to wonder what kind of condition he's in after that mixed tag team match at Winterfest. Kevin Silva did some dastardly things to this young man, but he's still standing. I don't know if he's at 100%, but I know one thing. He's here to fight, and he's here to make it to the next round in this European Championship tournament. He's living off the energy provided to him by the CMV fans on the first episode of Supremacy this season. Double axe handle. Looking to pick Reed up, or maybe a belly-to-belly. Reed says think twice. Goes for a cross-body. Ashley Amell sidestepping. Discus something. Gets a kick to the ribs. And look at that. Armbar, not exactly the one that Gary Reed likes to pull out to actually try and finish off his matches, but a deadly variation. Nonetheless, Ashley Amell trapped in it for a minute, but able to get free. However, has the damage been done? That arm's got to be hanging on by a thread at this point. Switching him around into a rolling neck breaker. Amell, he wants to keep Gary Reed grounded. That may be the only way he's going to get the dub in this match. You let Reed have his way, things are not going to end well. Basement dropkick avoided. And now Amell, another belly-to-belly, gets a gouge of the eyes. Come on, and right out of the ring with a clothesline. That's just despicable. Former Unified Tag Team Champion Gary Reed wants his first taste of singles gold. When he first began his career here in CMV, he made it to the finals of the NGW Championship Tournament. And that was big for Reed, something he often looks back on, but the fact of the matter is he was never able to actually win the championship. Many have said over these last few months that he's kind of living in the shadow of Walter Belay. Now with Belay gone, Gary Reed has a chance to become his own man, win that European Championship. He's got to get past Ashley Amell, though. which is no easy task. As we're seeing here, tornado sidewalk slam. How often do you see that? Innovative offense. Back into the ring at the count of 8. Gary Reed, I think, wants to finish this match off. Into the corner he goes. Now remember, Gary Reed may love that armbar, but we've seen time and time again he can finish off opponents with that elbow drop from the top rope. I think that's what he was looking for, but Ashley Mel cuts him off, tries to go for maybe an elbow stamp. I'm not entirely sure. Kind of overshot it. Wait a minute. There it is. There it is. Rolling armbar. Rolling armbar. Slapped on. And now Ashley Mel may have no choice but to tap before he snaps. Gary Reed is going to the next round. It looked as though Gary Reed was going to try to end this match with his patented elbow drop, but Ashley Mel still had some fight left in him yet. Attempted to knock him off, but out of nowhere, Reed locks in the armbar, and it is game over. Reed is the first man to advance. We'll find out who he'll face in the next round later on tonight when Kevin Lee takes on Bloody Justice. Impressive. Well, coming up next, guys, it was a match where we were originally supposed to see Johnny Miles taking on Andrew Briggs. Of course, it was Miles at Shakeup who won that over-the-top rope battle royal, earning a future shot at Shay Hoxton's International Championship. But Johnny Miles decided CMV just wasn't the fit for him, so he decided to bounce out, leaving number one contendership wide open. And Andrew Briggs thinks that he deserves the shot after knocking off Shay Hoxton in a non-title match at Shakeup. Has the opportunity to further prove that, as now, instead of Johnny Miles, he's going to be taking on Subject Zero, one of the many puppets of Tailco Val, who's not going to be far from this one either. But Shay Hoxton is slated to be ringside. He wanted to get a close look at Johnny Miles, but now may have to be looking at not only Andrew Briggs, but Subject Zero. Surely this opportunity given to Zero out of the partnership between Val and Mr. Slate. One thing's for sure, I think Andrew Briggs is praying that it would have been Miles standing across the ring from him right now. Subject Zero just immediately getting things started with a show of his unmatched power, belly-to-belly suplex. Been an iffy start to the season for Andrew Briggs. He lost to Quantum at Winterfest, but like I mentioned just a few moments ago, was able to defeat Shay Hoxton in a non-title match at Shakeup. And it was his match against Johnny Miles here tonight that was kind of like a undisputed number one contendership match. Who deserved the shot more at Shay Hoxton? Hoxton there in the corner, but not in the corner of anyone, only himself. Not a dummy. He wants to make sure he knows all that he can know about whomever is going to be coming after that international championship of his. Speaking of Hoxton, getting up onto the apron, seeming to want to get involved in this match. Referee, though, telling him to get down before he's ejected. Neither Subject Zero or Andrew Briggs seem to really pay him any mind. I think the reputation of Shay Hoxton is well known in that locker room. Everybody knows his... What the hell? Subject Zero with a freaking leg drop lariat. Dude, this has been completely one-sided since the bell rang. And we're talking about Andrew Briggs, the former undisputed world heavyweight champion, a CMV veteran. But we're also talking about Subject Zero, the number one toy of Tailco Val, this beast We used to call him the brick wall at NGW for good reason. If you run into him, there ain't no getting past him. Chops away the hand. Briggs trying to fight as he always does, but coming up short. Val pleased as pleased can be with how this match is unfolding. We've already seen once tonight what the Arsenal Telco Val is capable of. Jesus, and now we're getting another clear as day presentation from the top Roman Sub-Zero, crushing Andrew's body and soul with ease, just whipping this man around the ring. Guys, have we ever seen Andrew Briggs manhandled like this? This is exactly what Bob Luger went through earlier tonight. And keep in mind, Bob Luger still has to come out here later on and face Bram Miller. Elbow drop by Briggs, finally getting some offense in, but can he keep it up? Another elbow drop. Wants to make sure that Zero can't throw his weight around. The best way to do that is to keep him on the mat, work on him from a grounded position, but Zero gets one little sliver of an opening. Into the corner goes Briggs, turning him around. Maybe going for the O'Connor roll German suplex, but Briggs, just like that, in the blink of an eye, able to roll Zero over his knee, and some knees to the face one more, turning him inside out. Shoots the half-dose Briggs into the pin, that tree trunk of a leg. 1, 2, Briggs tries to steal it. As he looks over at Hoxton, who's got a smirk on his face. He's loving this, why wouldn't he? Kick to the midsection. Andrew Briggs, Hangman's neck breaker. And look at that positioning. Is Briggs going to do what I think he's going to do? No, Sub-Zero not going to give him the chance as he rises to his feet as if nothing happened, as if Briggs is a gnat. Buzzing around his head, beating that chest so ferociously it shakes the hard camera. What is Telco Val feeding this man? Is he a man? Gut first on the top rope. Zero bringing Briggs to his feet. Look at him in the eyes. Irish whip into the corner. There we go. Briggs won't stop fighting until he draws his last breath. We all know that. Enzu Lariat gets ducked. Zero with some great reflexes. Doesn't see this Hangman's neckbreaker coming again, though. Grabbing on his, and look at this now. Telco Val, just as Sub-Zero starts to hit a bit of a road bump, a speed bump in this match, Val is going to make sure that it doesn't last. Briggs falling for the distraction, and Sub-Zero able to take back control. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Forearm smash by Briggs. Tries to go for the crossbody. Big man sidesteps. Track to the jaw, turns her around. Zero with a punch to the back of the head. And what in the hell is this? A tornado face buster. Wait a minute, Hoxton? Hoxton trying to distract Zero here. I think he knows Zero is just as much of a threat to his championship as Briggs is. But I think if Hoxton had a choice, he would want to face Briggs and not Sub-Zero. Nobody in their right mind would want to face the brick wall, and Briggs, thanks to distraction by Hoxton, Shining Wizard into the pin, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3, Briggs victorious thanks to Hoxton. Shay Hoxton causing a distraction that momentarily put Zero off his game, and Briggs, like the pro he is, using that opening to put Zero down. Quite an upset. If I have ever seen one, Briggs went through the meat grinder at the hands of Sub-Zero, but who would have thought Hoxton would be the saving grace for Andrew Briggs? But like I said, I think if Hoxton has a choice, he'd want to face Briggs rather than Subject Zero. And after that win, combined with the victory over Hoxton at Shakeup, I don't think there's any doubt Briggs deserves a shot at that international championship. Our next first round matchup in the CMV European Championship Tournament, guys, about to go down as Kevin Lee takes on Bloody Justice. We saw earlier tonight Gary Reed advance with a victory over Ashley Amell. Actually, these two came together backstage earlier tonight and agreed for their match to be Extreme Rules. We know Kevin Lee is a fighter, and after what Bloody Justice and Killian Red did to each other at Shakeup, this is sure not to disappoint. Who's going to be meeting Reed in the next round, vying to become European champion? The hypothetical Kung Fu practitioner and Bloody Justice immediately meeting each other head-to-head, front headlock by Justice, gets an Irish whip from Lee, knocking down the referee. What are we, 10 seconds in and already a ref bump? Not that we need one. Extreme Rules means no disqualifications, no countouts. Pinfall or submission must take place in the ring. That's really the only rule. And Bloody Justice with a tombstone pile driver? Alright, this match is set to high right out the gate. And then just takes a knee to the chest as if it ain't no thing but a chicken wang. Bloody Justice, the former two-time Fusion Tag Team Champion. Could he finally be closing in on his first singles championship as he looks to shove his fingers down Lee's throat? Kinky. Sit out Uranagi side slam Kevin Lee, a CMV veteran, former two-time World Tag Team Champion, a part of one of the greatest tag teams in CMV history, T and Lee. We hadn't seen him for a long, long time before he returned at Ascendance in the Slick B Memorial Battle Royal. This is his first official singles match back in years. Bloody Justice from the get-go, not allowing Kevin Lee to get in any sort of offense. Knee to the midsection. Discus clothesline, gonna turn Kevin Lee inside out. There we go. Finally, Kevin Lee able to defend himself, and now a float over DDT. Whoa! Bloody Justice retreating to the apron. Justice, a part of this arsenal put together by Tailcoat Val to be used at the whim of general manager Mr. Slayton. Bloody Justice, we saw he was a part of that attack on Bob Luger earlier tonight. Guys, still to come. Bob Luger has to compete. He wanted the match and Slate gave it to him. What kind of condition will Luger be in against Bram Miller? Also, our main event, going to see world champion Chris Prophet take on Quantum, non-title. We also got a fatal four-way tag team match showing off some of the new tag teams here on Supremacy. Should be exciting. But right now, what the hell? Kevin Lee just kneed Bloody Justice right on the jaw. Justice didn't even react. And so Kevin Lee decided to try and scare him with some more Kung Fu moves. Another mandible claw. Kevin Lee has got no escape. Or maybe he does. A couple of well-placed punches. And the hypothetical Kung Fu practitioner, we know what he wants to do. He wants to kick Bloody Justice in the back of the face. Will he get the opportunity? Rolls to the outside. This is Extreme Rules, let's remember. What's he going to pull out to play with? We've got a bat. Good old-fashioned metal bat looking to swing for the fences. Crack open that skull. Justice takes it from him. And back into the hands of Kevin Lee it goes. Throws it down. Both men run into each other. Kevin Lee is the quicker. Knee to the chest. Bloody Justice getting right back up. What can keep this man down? Runs into a knee to the gut. Collar and elbow tie-up. Who's stronger? Bloody Justice overcomes. Closes that distance. Irish whip off the ropes on the rebound. Oh! Boss man slam on the back. And now Justice has got the weapon in hand. We saw what he did to Killian Red at Shake-Up. There is no remorse from Bloody Justice when you're in that ring with him. 4 or 5 times that metal bat thwacking off the flesh of Kevin Lee, and now Bloody Justice had enough as he eerily stalks Kevin Lee. Motionless is the hypothetical kung fu practitioner, starting to make his way back to his feet. Bloody Justice there to meet him, the kiss goodnight, and Sister's Joy cracks him open, middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Bloody Justice advances to the next round of the European Championship Tournament. Bloody Justice not only defeats Kevin Lee, but absolutely destroys the man. Oh, and it looks like Chris Benoit's ghost has just run into the ring trying to get the jump on Bloody Justice, and after a win like that, he's not going to be so easily triumphed. Chris Benoit's ghost sent packing. And as we now get ready to see this showcase of the tag team division here on Supremacy, a tweet, guys, coming from Bob Luger. He says, Xander is just an ignorant jackass if he thinks he can drop me. I'll keep fighting my way to that world title, and no jealous suit will stand in my way. Well, the question is, what kind of condition will Bob Luger be in to face Brad Miller later on tonight after that absolute dissecting? The Arsenal of Tailcoat Val did their job. Will Bob Luger be able to overcome? We know that he ain't the man to quit. He just said it himself. You can try and try and try, but you won't keep me down. I'm coming for that world championship. Xander Slater's got a lot of obstacles in the way of the work ethic Titan, though. I truly don't know if he can win this one, but I'm not going to be the man to doubt him. I'm going to sit over here, and we're going to see what the hell happens later on tonight. But right now, some new tag teams on the scene. On Supremacy, we've got the Mustache Powers, Oasis, the Carter Clan, which we saw a bit of at Shake-Up in that 6-man tag team match. And then, of course, Los Felinos Fatales, baby, coming up to Supremacy with the closure of NG Dub, Golden Cat, and Danger Cat. This is Tornado Tag rules, meaning it'll be first pin or submission in the ring. Give one of these teams the victory, not elimination though, and all 8 men will be legal at the same time. So let's try and keep up with this one if we can. Here we go, referee rings the bell, and this is going to be chaos. I think I'm just... Are Los Felinos Fatales wearing bags on their heads? Are those paper bags painted with the mask design of Los Felinos Fatales? Am I seeing this correctly? What's going on with that? What the hell? Well, I mean, those things are on there pretty securely considering they haven't already been knocked off. As we see Danger Cat trying to go at it with Catelyn Armstrong. One half of Oasis, a tag team from across the pond. The other member being Aaron Cage, who we saw in action at Winterfest, losing to Dada, which is Danger Cat jumping on the back here of a hat trick, clawing it at the sides of his head, and then here comes Aaron Cade with an end to Larry. A bit of momentary teamwork between Oasis and Los Flinos Fatales. Like I said, this is first fall to a finish, not elimination, so first pin or submission in the ring will claim victory for one of these new teams on the scene. Stake their claim perhaps to a future tag team championship opportunity. This title is currently held by God's chosen Braxton Sutter and Joey Diaz, who I'm sure won't be far behind their leader, the world champion Chris Proudfoot, later on tonight in our main event when Proudfoot takes on Quantum. Not entirely sure if countouts or disqualifications are in effect here. I don't imagine so. Countouts definitely not. As Jerry Hattrick slides back into the ring. His partner Rich Hamilton over there in the pink, writhing in agony. This is Declan Carter with a last call to Danger Cat. El Gato rolling to the outside while his partner Golden Cat goes out a forearm smash, clipping hat trick. Brooke Carter Jr. Hammerlock. Man, Golden Cat has got a hell of a tan, I gotta say. He might have the nicest tan in CMV. Truly is the Golden Cat. I can't get over this. Is nobody else gonna, like... How are those bags even staying on their heads? That's what's truly throwing me for a loop. This has got to be some sort of stunt by Los Nostales. We know that they like to have their fun. Not so sure about this one, though. It can't be easy to compete with a paper bag on your head. Belly-to-belly suplex by Deck. Rich Hamilton finds himself trapped in the corner. Golden Cat going to take some refuge on the outside momentarily. Hamilton caught from behind. Jumping knee. Kaplan Armstrong says, let me at him. Snapmare to the mustache man and a Oklahoma stampede from Hattrick. Kaplan Armstrong, center of the ring. Oh, mama. That did not look like a tickle. Rolling off the shoulders. Brooke Carter Jr., another hammerlock Russian leg sweep. This time to the biggest man in the match. Kaplan Armstrong looks like a mean mofo. Do not envy any of these 6 other men that have to tangle with him in this match right now. With a pure side. Oh, wait a minute. Danger Cat. Danger Cat. Gonna try to steal one small package here on Rich Hamilton. Hamilton reverses the momentum though. Danger Cat sends it back. 1, 2. No, again. Rich Hamilton gets the upper hand. Kick out. Now we got a crossface. A crossface. Brooke Carter Jr. looking to force Armstrong to tap right dab smack in the middle of that wrestling ring here on Supremacy. Aaron Cade takes himself a small nap towards the bottom of the ramp there. Deck rushing back into the squared circle. Danger Cat is just folded like an accordion right now over the shoulders of Declan Carter. Danger Cat taking exception to Kaplan Armstrong talking that ish. Trying to roll up on him with a revolution knee. Look at this, some more scratches. Oh, God. That'd be a disqualification if those were in effect. Cat's going to do what Cat's going to do, though. Kaplan Armstrong looking to take the pin here on Rich. I should say Jerry Hattrick. Meanwhile, what the hell is Brooke Carter Jr. doing? Over the top rope plancha down onto Danger Cat. Hamilton about to be launched into the corner. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but saved by Deck. Brooke doesn't seem to be done at all with Danger Cat here, but Danger Cat still wanting to have some fun of his own. Carrying him over to the announce table. Brooke says no thank you. right into the steel post, shoulder first. Meanwhile, Golden Cat with a wheelbarrow stunner to topple one half of Oasis. Kaplan Armstrong might be done for good. Remember, the only way for one of these teams to win is by pinfall or submission in the ring, not elimination. It's a scramble to the finish. Magnificent combination by Danger Cat. I don't know if you saw that, but very impressive as per the usual from Los Felinos Fatales. Bringing that Lucha Libre style to CMV. You don't see a whole lot of it. That's what makes them so incredibly unique and dangerous, as they mix it up against all these different styles. Oklahoma Stampede to Jerry Hattrick. I can't even see what the hell is going on. It's just a mosh pit of bodies. Golden Cat with a little bit of a U. Lands a German suplex attempt. What the hell is Kaplan Armstrong doing here? Tombstone pile driver from Cap as he crosses the arms of Rich Hamilton. And this one's over. Oasis victorious. Everybody else too busy with everything going on to see the pin unfolding. And Oasis take the dub after a tombstone from Kaplan Armstrong to Rich Hamilton. Look at these highlights. Basically just Kaplan Armstrong cleaning house, destroying everybody who got in his way. Oasis move ahead of the pack here on Supremacy. Look at this. An old school tombstone pile driver. Kaplan Armstrong and Aaron Cade grab themselves the dub. And here we have it, our co-main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, on Supremacy episode 18, the first episode of Supremacy this season, which will all be capped off when undisputed World Heavyweight Champion Chris Profit takes on the Future Man Quantum. We have got Bob Luger persevering as he always does after a brutal beatdown at the hands of the arsenal of Tailcoat Val, while Mr. Slate watched on with a smile on his face, and still Bob Luger forced to compete, although it was he who wanted this match with Brad Miller. Came out here at the top of the show, said, "Give me that mystery man that tried to screw me at Shakeup. I want him right now, Slate." And Slate said, "Hey, you've got him." But little did Luger know it was a trap, and the arsenal of Tailcoat Val descended upon him. But now Luger, he's had a short while to rest up, not very long. Does he have what it takes to overcome the numbers game? Because he's not only dealing with Brad Miller, but Mr. Slate, Tailcoat Val, and Subject Zero lurking at ringside as well. If you thought this was going to be a fair fight, and you don't know anything about Mr. Slate, as Brad Miller, the man who came out during the main event of Shakeup when it was Chris Proudfoot taking on Bob Luger in a non-title no disqualification match. Brad Miller attempted to cost Bob Luger the match, but Luger overcame and still managed to defeat Chris Proudfoot, which is leading many, including himself, to say he deserves to be crowned #1 contender. Said it himself earlier tonight via that tweet, "Nothing will stop me from winning that world championship. He's beaten Chris Proudfoot twice in the last couple of months clean. The first time was to win the international championship, which he of course lost at Winterfest to Shea Hoxton. Bob Luger nowhere close to 100%, but it tells you all you have to know about the man, that he is still here, still willing to fight. Even as Mr. Slate, Tailcoat Val, and Subject Zero. And look at this, Mr. Slate laying his hands on Bob Luger. They're talking that issue. That's going to allow Bram Miller to take Luger down. What is he going to do? Throw him into the audience? Luger, though, saving his own skin. And how can you possibly concentrate this? Now it's Tailcoat Val. Tailcoat Val putting her hands on Luger. And you do not want to let a vixen like that get anywhere near you. Luger wants to get this fight back into the ring as quickly as possible. But look at that, and Slate, of course it's not going to be a disqualification. He's the goddamn GM. I'm sure he told the referee to let all that slide. Downright despicable and disgusting. Bram Miller. The right hand of the right hand. Dropping Luger down out of the military press with ease. And this isn't a match, man. This is just a one-sided beating orchestrated by Mr. Slate. I thought for maybe a brief second that Slate was going to bring Supremacy into the right direction, but instead he's letting the history that he and Luger have between each other, letting that get in the way of his actual duties, using his power here to make Luger's life a living hell. One's got to wonder what the hell Kellen O'Neill thinks about all this. He put Mr. Slate in charge, hand-picked Mr. Slate to run Supremacy. We haven't heard anything from the CEO. I don't think that Luger's got an ally in him. Knee to the midsection. Luger's done some pretty awful things in his years here in CMV. There's not a whole lot of people backstage that are going to have his back. Not a whole lot of people that he can call his friend. One of the very few he may have, Randy Orton, got taken out earlier this week on Crossfire at the hands of Adam Richards. So even if Orton could help Bob Luger, even if he would, unable to, Bob Luger is by himself, back against the wall, as he is just torn apart. The attack from earlier tonight continuing. It's part 2 here in our co-main event. Bram Miller, dastardly intentions as the posse at ringside celebrates the destruction of Bob Luger, but Luger's not done yet, baby. Flips the jaw of Bram. Picking him back up, kick to the midsection. Luger landing! Luger landing! Luger landing! Just like that! 1, 2! But Bram Miller able to escape, and Bob Luger can't believe it. Attempting to thrive off the energy these fans are giving him. That's the only thing that could possibly be keeping him alive right now. The work ethic titan, the cardio maniac. He knows that he has the support of the CMV universe, and that may be all he needs, because there ain't no party. They're going to become party, because they're going to become party. Don't stop. Rallying the universe, another one. And another one. Luger off the ropes for a picture-perfect dropkick. The second-generation superstar riding high right now. The reaction at ringside has completely changed. Coney Island Cyclone, baby. The only one to do it better than the originator. 1, 2. But Miller continuing to defy Bob Luger's attempts to put him down. Another Luger landing may be coming. Indeed it is. Into the pin. 1, 2. What the hell? Luger slamming his palms on the canvas in frustration, understandably so. 2 Luger landings, and Bram Miller is still kicking. I guess this is why Mr. Slate chose him to be his right-hand man. This tank just taking everything Luger has to throw at him and laughing. Not going to be laughing for long. German suplex. Bram Miller retreats to the ringside area. Is this so wise for Luger to chase after him? Mr. Slate and Co. rushing over. Oh, Subject Zero just inadvertently knocked Tailcoat Val over in his attempt to go and join the fun. Oh my God, look at this. Jesus Christ. Have you ever seen someone just let go of a running power slam? Mr. Slate salivating at the mouth as he gets this front row seat to the demise of Bob Luger. An orchestrated outcome. Everything that's happened tonight has played out exactly like Mr. Slate wanted it to. Bram Miller now, what looks like a torture rack. No! Shades of Bob Luger's father, the legendary Lex Luger, using the torture rack, adding insult to injury shortly at the command of Mr. Slate, but Luger fights out of it. The cardio maniac, the work ethic titan, the 2-time world champion, the 2-time international champion. Bob Luger says, I've got more for you. This ain't over till the fat lady sings. Punch to the back of the head. Bob Luger gets off a wicked clothesline. Mr. Slate rolling up on him again. Luger's got to get this fight back into the ring as quickly as humanly possible. The longer they stay at ringside, the more possibility Mr. Slate's going to try to get involved, and he does right there, but Bram Miller says, I've got this. Throwing him right into Slate and Tailcoat Val, surrounded by his enemies. Nobody to lend a hand. Luger still fights, though. There's no quitting this man. He does not know the word die. It ain't his vocabulary. Mr. Slate tries to stop Luger from getting back into the ring, but Luger pushes past him. And again, another Coney Island Cyclone, making Tim proud. 1, 2, 3, no! Luger looks over to Slate and Val, Subject Zero lurking at ringside. With whatever he has left, Luger, rolling armbar by Luger. Breaking Slate's toy. Bram Miller tapping. Luger somehow, some way, overcomes all the odds that were stacked against him tonight like only he can. Simply incredible. It took everything, though, from Bob Luger to put Bram Miller down. 2 Luger landings, 2 Coney Island Cyclones, and finally an armbar, forcing Miller to tap. And that right hand of his may be broken in a million different pieces, and Slate and Co. discussing amongst themselves what the next step is, because Luger, as he said himself, not going to make this easy for Mr. Slate. After a hell of a first episode of Supremacy this season, guys, it all comes down to our main event of the evening. The CMV undisputed World Heavyweight Champion Chris Proudfoot, God's chosen at his 6, taking on the future man Quantum. You know, Proudfoot was backstage just now watching that Miller-Luger match, hoping, praying that Xander Slate, Mr. Slate's grand plan would come to fruition and Luger would be destroyed before our very eyes. But even still, Luger overcomes it all, and now Proudfoot knows that Luger is coming for him and that undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. Proudfoot even said it himself on Twitter when Jaquan Shea challenged him to a championship match. Proudfoot says, "Get in line, kid, because Bob Luger is who I've got coming at me right now." And Proudfoot wants that match because Luger has bested him twice in these last couple of months. At Battle Scars 5 and then at Shake Up, Proudfoot wants to get that win back. But right now he can't afford to overlook the obstacle that is Quantum, the future man. Got a victory over Andrew Briggs back at Winterfest, with Paul Devine currently MIA. Perhaps Quantum has his own ambitions to finally win the CMV Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. He's a former unmatched world champion. And look at this, Bram Miller running up on him. Supremacy truly is a dangerous place to be these days. That has been exemplified multiple times here tonight. But much like Bob Luger before him and Andrew Briggs earlier, Quantum is not going to scare away from the numbers game. Braxton Sutter and Joey Diaz blocking any sort of exit, but you don't got to worry about that from Quantum. He ain't running anywhere. He knows that he's got the world champion standing in front of him right now. He knows that a victory will get him that world championship one step closer to fulfilling the goal he's chased after for over 5 years. Jawbreaker by Proudfoot. God's chosen, inching closer and closer. Proudfoot got Quantum up against the barricade wall. Punches and bunches. Closed fists. Right to the dome. Kicks out the knee. Quantum! Almost thought he was about to pull out a timestamp right there, but switches it up. Oh, and a whoa! Real quick.
11.
Remember, Quantum knows what the future holds.
12.
He takes down Chris Proudfoot with a nasty STO. The damage only multiplied as they are ringside battling atop those pads that have
14.
little to no protection for the concrete that lies beneath. At a count of 14, guys, Quantum gets back into the ring. Only until 20 does Proudfoot have to get back into the squared circle, but Quantum's not going to want to win like that. If he was to win like that, Proudfoot could say, "Yeah, you beat me, but by count out." Quantum wants to put Proudfoot down by pin or submission in the middle of that CMV ring right now. Our main event. The towering nightmare that is Braxton Sutter on one side, Joey Diaz, the faithful follower, on the other. Quantum thrown right into the steel steps, and again. I think for Proudfoot, this is an opportunity for him to show everybody that he is not to be messed with. He doesn't care about Mr. Slate and his friends. He doesn't care about Bob Luger's struggles. The only thing he cares about is his championship and his God, and staying on top. And to take out someone the stature of Quantum would send that message clearly, without any sort of doubt. Because you can tell, this isn't a match. They've spent more time outside of the ring than in it. Chris Proudfoot wants to hurt Quantum. But Quantum is ready to throw hands. Watch out, Braxton Sutter. Want to risk that disqualification. Luthez press. Quantum with some right hands of his own. Now bashing the back of Proudfoot's head right off the pads.
14.
Guys, count of 14. Quantum has to get this match back into the ring, or at least himself back into the ring. A count-out victory is still a victory. But instead, I think that this is unfolding how Proudfoot wants it to a T.
17.
Or maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. Proudfoot has got a lot of people nipping at his heels as world champion. He stands atop the mountain. Side effect could have Quantum dead to rights. 1-2, but a kick out from the future man. The CMV living legend brought to his feet. Proudfoot, we know what he wants here. Catapult, a big boot to the face. Looking to put Quantum down with his own maneuver. Adding salt to the wound, but Proudfoot's not done, guys. I think I was right. I think Proudfoot wants to use Quantum to send a message to the rest of the locker room. He could have so easily beaten him right there with that timestamp. But instead, he's putting the hurt on Quantum. 1, 2. Another side effect and still a kick out. Now Proudfoot's like, oh, maybe I made a mistake. And there it is, God's arrow right down the sights to the gullet. Excuse me, what? Excuse me, did Quantum just kick out of the God's arrow? Things are very quickly turning around on Chris Proudfoot here. The plan is beginning to crumble, and the world champion doing his best to stay on top of the future man who rolls to the outside, knowing his surroundings. Forearm smash from the apron. Back into the ring. Throws out a jab. Proudfoot catches it. Turns him around in the corner. Quantum's got the upper hand for the moment, and he knows that he's got to hit something big, something that could end this match. Proudfoot wants nothing to do with it, and that slap across the face. I do not know if that was a good idea. Quantum says, you can't see me, and a punch that would go right through the head of any normal man. Good God. Coming in hot as Quantum gets caught up in an Irish whip to the corner again. Turned around, not the place that he wants to be. Big old kick to the chest. And wait a minute. Proudfoot has tried everything. He tried beating Quantum with his own move. He tried putting him down with the God's arrow. None of it was enough. So now Proudfoot, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, Proudfoot goes coast to coast. And Quantum completely limp as Proudfoot is hardly able to stand. Choking Quantum out. Go for the pin. What are you doing? Kick to the midsection. This is what I'm talking about. You can never count Quantum out. What a punch. What a punch. 1, 2. It ain't no 24th punch, though. Not able to keep Quantum down. This is ridiculous. Chris Proudfoot, he came out here thinking that this match was going to go a whole different way. Another God's arrow, and come on, something's got to give. 1, 2, 3. Chris Proudfoot is victorious after an absolutely ridiculous showing. Quantum did not go down easy. Wanted to make a statement at the expense of the future man. And in the end, he did. But it most definitely was no easy task. There's the first God's arrow. We thought it was over there. A coast to coast. I mean, good Lord. Is there anything Chris Proudfoot didn't hit in this match to try and beat Quantum? But as the first episode of Supremacy comes to an end, Proudfoot, with Braxton Sutter and Joey Diaz backing him up, stands tall. And one thing's for certain, after everything that unfolded tonight, Supremacy is going to be a war zone going forward. Well, guys, thank you as always for those who did tuning in and watching. I know I went live a bit early and kind of out of nowhere, so I didn't really expect anybody to show up, but that's what past broadcasts are for. But until next time, I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.